The termination letter trembled in Marcus Hale's hands as sunlight streamed through the tall glass windows of the corporate lobby, mocking him with its warmth. Around him, the building buzzed with ordinary daytime life, employees tapping badges, security guards nodding, polished shoes clicking against marble floors. But for Marcus, time felt frozen. He had just taken the blame for a mistake he didn't make, a mistake that would have cost the company millions. He could have spoken the truth. He could have named the real person responsible. But that person had a family, a fragile situation, and fear in their eyes. Marcus chose silence. And now, standing there in his worn gray jacket, a single father with a lunchbox still in his hand because he skipped breakfast to get his son to school on time, he felt utterly defeated. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet courage that often goes unseen, take a moment right now to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel One Heart Stories. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that are hurting. Marcus stepped outside into the bright daytime street, the city alive and indifferent. Cars passed, vendors called out, and the sky was painfully blue. He sat on a concrete bench, staring at his reflection in the glass tower that no longer wanted him. His phone buzzed with a reminder to pick up his 8-year-old son, Liam, from school later that afternoon. That single vibration carried more weight than the firing itself. Liam believed his father could fix anything. Marcus wondered how long that belief would survive. Since his wife's passing 3 years earlier, every day had been a careful balance of grief, responsibility, and hope. This job had been the last stable thing in their lives. He remembered the moment in the boardroom earlier that morning, when the mistake was discovered. The tension, the sharp looks, the unspoken accusations. Marcus had seen the panic in a junior manager's face, a young woman barely holding herself together. Without thinking, he had stepped forward, accepting responsibility. He believed doing the right thing mattered more than protecting his position. What he hadn't expected was how quickly integrity could be punished when profits were on the line. The CEO hadn't raised his voice. The decision had been swift, clinical, and final. Or so Marcus thought. The afternoon sun followed Marcus as he walked aimlessly, replaying every decision that led him here. He thought about the overdue bills at home, the fridge that needed fixing, the school trip Liam had been excited about. He imagined having to tell his son that things would be different now, that sacrifices were coming. The city park offered a brief refuge, its green lawns glowing under the daylight. Marcus sat there, hands clasped, head bowed, feeling smaller than he ever had before. It wasn't just the loss of a job, it was the feeling that doing good had no place in the world he was trying to survive in. When he arrived at Liam's school, he forced a smile. Children spilled out into the sunlit courtyard, laughter echoing, backpacks bouncing. Liam ran toward him, joy unfiltered, and hugged him tightly. That hug grounded Marcus more than any paycheck ever had. As they walked home together, Liam talked about his day, about a drawing he made, about how proud he was that his dad worked in a big building with glass walls. Marcus listened, heart heavy, knowing that glass wall had closed behind him forever. That evening, as daylight softened into late afternoon, Marcus received an unexpected call. The company's executive office requested that he return the next morning. There was no explanation. Anxiety kept him awake that night, sunlight barely breaking through the curtains when he dressed again in the same gray jacket. He kissed Liam's forehead before school, promising nothing but hoping for everything. The next day, the corporate building looked different in daylight, less threatening, more human. Marcus was escorted not to the HR floor, but to the top level. The CEO, Adrian Cole, stood by the window, city stretched out below them, sunlight illuminating the room. Adrian had a reputation for being distant, calculating, untouchable. But when he turned, his expression was thoughtful, not cold. He acknowledged Marcus's actions from the previous day, not as a mistake, but as a rare act of integrity. He explained that leadership wasn't just about numbers, but about character, and that the company had nearly lost something far more valuable than profit. Adrian asked Marcus to walk with him through the building, down hallways flooded with daylight, past employees who glanced up in confusion. He spoke about his own past, about a time when someone had protected him early in his career, changing the course of his life. He admitted that firing Marcus had been a test of the company's values, and of his own. By the time they returned to the office, Marcus was offered not only his job back, but a new role, one that focused on ethics, mentorship, and accountability. A role created because of him, not despite him. Marcus left the building that day with the sun high above, tears he didn't bother hiding, heart lighter than it had been in years. When he picked up Liam, he told him that sometimes doing the right thing feels like losing everything, but it can also open doors you never knew existed. Liam smiled, believing him completely. Before this story ends, if it touched even a small part of your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to One Heart Stories. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive and reminds the world that kindness still matters. And one special request before the ending: please comment the word hope if you believe that good character is never wasted, even when the world seems unfair. As father and son walked home under the bright daytime sky, Marcus realized that defeat had never been the end of his story. It had only been the quiet moment before someone finally saw him, not as expendable, but as essential.